I've been bout my papyrus since I've been in it. Put me in the debate, you know I'm gon' win it. If I scream black power, don't get timid. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. Primary research and we done pushed it to the limits. All you dudes finished. The king counting cattle up with brother Reggie. When I'm in Oakland, smoking, bro, they love the Chevy. Back in the day, it was the spokes on the chariot. Long procession when the king got carried out to every spot. Woman looking nice as ISIS. I read ancient texts, so my advice is priceless. Nubian gold, your ice don't entice us. Beating me harder than counting grains in your spices. Your heart was beating, but your brain dead. You're lifeless. Yo, they ain't nothing like us, yo. Don't try to make me mad. Make me smile and say you love me, man. That's real right there. Yeah, come on. You should listen to your main man's advice. Do a YouTube and apologize like Dice. Or the back fade coming like the Antichrist. Egyptologists see me reading and said that I'm nice. I got a Stella with your name on it. I'm like Sargon. You the type of dude wake up in your car gone. Told, cause of the money you owe. Before you stream, you should clean up that humble abode. Like Akhenaten City for my woman in gold. I keep the pseudos running, people coming in droves. You catch me on a live stream with Pan-African James. When we building, call us by our African names. I'm for the children. And ain't nothing happen to change. We on that black hype, so we still packing them things for protection. Got connections. My complexion, pure black, that's the essence. Make me smile. You love me? Show me some love. All right.
All right, what up? We about to make a lot of money next year, and I got the plan. Bring this hip hop back, right? But first, I'm about to play another tune. Let some people roll in the building real quick.
Yeah, and I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Alright, it's getting kinda dirty in these YouTube streets. The Amin Ra squad, God thinking you dudes weak. Islam or Judaism, where you learn what you dudes teach. The West African rappers slapping with that voodoo speech. All that sub-Saharan terror about a cuckoo feet. I'm like Norma, the agricultural farmer that grew you wheat for the storehouses. We feed the Hebrews and lead the people when we defeat the feeble. They wanna know polite rip me off, but Sonetta paid me my money though. That mean he 100. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Nubian with the Jews, I rock the pinky. I think Jesus got to save me. A doctor save me, a doctor inky. I cop the copper jewels on blue and red. I'm not the chakra doctor, y'all claim woke. But you in bed, you won't pop a chopper, you Grandmaster J. You just talking. Punks turn the other cheek and you will walk away. Y'all gon' have to pardon my Moorish. That's Taharka Bay. I'm on that black African power on my darkest day. And that's my brother Ankh stomping them other punks. We brought them gators to Italy, you loving the Moors. And now I'm teaching from my shrine like brother Jabari. Scope in the savannah cause I'm on another safari. Tasha K showed us Frank record. Young Pharaoh just losing his mind and y'all can't help him. I know one thing, you're a fool if you're still out here donating to Umar school. That shit cool. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Look. You showing your hidden colors like Tariq Nasheed. A bunch of pseudo information I don't think I need. Probably lying on the text, ask Divine or Zion Lax. Just get that microphone ready. With Metal Netta, I'm Stone Jetty. I Ujahu, Asar Imhotep. Y'all probably timid still on them Bobby Hemmett teachings. I'm in Gozy with the DNA. You Cats corny and it's killing me too. You talk that black shit, but you look Arab like Gorilla Hebrew. You need therapy, they telling me just chillin', be cool. I'm a magi orchard, you a sad guy talking. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bro. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bro. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bro. They crazy, bro.
All right, man, here we go. This probably will be a long show so it can have the right information in it. That's off one of my albums called Fights Over Egypt. You can check that out whenever you want. It's good to get you motivated to study. What's up, though? Where everybody at, man? What they doing? Because we talk about paper, they ain't gonna let the notification go out. You feel me? It is what it is, though. We about to have a great build. Because I got enough experience and I've done enough research to challenge the notion. Not only experience research, but living in the moment, we can challenge the notion that there ain't no money in music. And so dealing with my man's, and particularly my man Pep, and how he was saying he want to do his rollout. He gave me a whole cascade of thoughts, just falling all over the place on what we need to do, what's happened to us, and what we need to do to take the music industry back. Completely 100%. To do things on our terms in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? While getting the lion's share of the music that we create. Especially young artists, this might be useful for some brand. I swear I wish I could have found a video like this. What? When I was first starting? Come on now. Because some of the things I'm going to say will be useful to people. But we're going to slow walk it so that we can all get this right. And go on and click like or say something when you come in so the video activity could get up and we can have a more, a better live crowd. Not better, but more people.
Bro, you got so much to give us, man. Your gift, your passion, your knowledge. It wasn't time.
God said no.
God said, bro, really, man, I often think about artists that are no longer with us, like what would have happened if they had more time, And while we're here and while we're trying to be a contributor to the culture, I think it is important for people to hear your honesty. I think it is important for people to hear your disappointment with how they devalue the artists. That is a strong message that needs to be heard because, hey man, everybody can't write like you. Everybody can't make 25 songs like Chris Brown. Everybody can't play 18,000 instruments like Prince and put out his own music and own his own masters. Like that is some other shit. And now, everything becomes minimalized. I can just push a button and
the whole world got my shit now. Yeah, I push a button and it goes out to 25 million fake followers.
Yeah.
6,000 of them are authentic. I mean, it's just crazy.
It's a crazy different game.
It is, but you know what? Let me say this, and then I'll let you have it. But when you have the opportunity to make music, when you have the opportunity for the world to hear your passion or hear your talents, man, by all means, make the move, man.
Right.
Make it to where the world can hear you and appreciate what you do, but just make sure you're being compensated for it.
That's all you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's no way that it's costing, well, I don't know how much albums cost to make right now because I'm way out the loop. But man, you
So just stop. Because we got to take note of some things. He said he don't know how much albums cost to make. Now, I could tell you, being a solo artist who got a gang of producers and also produce myself, You can produce an album for however much you want. If you got the talent, you can produce an album. I could produce, matter of fact, the last album I just showed y'all, I produced that album for $0. Nothing cost me anything. Because we've been using technology to our advantage, and so we got all the suites that we used to have. We used to pay thousands to go to these studios. You got all them suites, so you can have all them suites right in your computer. But to make an album, that ain't even the goal, but we're going to talk about all of this so that we can digest it.
Spend your money to make a song, man, that you let people hear for free.
It makes no sense.
You know, and we need to monetize all of these. We need to get money from all of these streaming platforms.
Absolutely.
And if you hear my shit, it's like buying a single now. I think that all artists should pull it down until when you listen to my shit, it costs $1.
Even
So that's where we're going to stop. That's a good idea he has. But that ain't going to really, you know what I'm saying? It takes a little bit too much. Because here's the deal. Inside of that, hold up. Give me a second.
if it cost $1, it would be crazy.
No, but I'm just saying, it's like, remember you had a single?
Yeah.
Like the single was like 99 cents to $1.99 or whatever.
Absolutely.
Like, I want that dollar.
Yeah. Where's my money?
Like, yeah, if you want to hear my album and there's 10 songs on there, I want $10. I want $12.
Yeah, that would go a long.
Yeah, how
First of all,
how does
you can't even get a meal from McDonald's for that amount. But I'm gonna let them finish and we're gonna build on it.
gas go up? How nothing? Listen to me. How does the price of gas go up, but the price of music go down?
And we can't do this shit without no music. This life would be crazy without music, bro.
How can 25-cent gasoline go all the way up to fucking $8 a gallon, and music go from $19.99 a CD to under a penny to just hear?
So honestly, the value of music didn't go up. Music's still generating what it was generating. It's just not generating it for us. See, that's the problem. It ain't generating what it used to generate for us. But with one simple move, we about to take all that back. Hella easy. Watch this.
That makes no sense.
I'm just saying. It might take a little while for some people to digest that.
That take a minute. That's some shit. How is that possible?
How is it?
How is it?
Man.
Damn, bro. That's
The price
crazy.
of
That's deep.
the cost of butter went up, but the price of music went down.
What could we do? We
could take our shit back. Like, take it down. Like, take all your shit down off the streaming platforms and just hold out. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even be mad if we started our own streaming platform.
The artist. That would be ill.
Take your shit back and don't let the powers that be control or dictate what goes on in your music, or you know what I mean, in your hustle, man. This is bad, guys. This is bad. And them by them knocking out mom and pop stores, we don't know what's hot no more. We just get caught in streaming a song.
He 100% right. And then you don't get now, man, I've experienced this firsthand. Like, y'all see me, I just had to just say I'm gonna stick to my guns, right? And just be who I am. But I've learned throughout I got all those offers, bro. I mean, everything. Like, oh, okay, you want to be on the radio? Here, holler at my man, give him this much money type stuff. What I'm talking about is how they create these industries and they shape industries in certain ways by setting up particular red tape in order to form the industry to their benefit. This has been happening since I met hip hop. When I met hip hop, it was already formed in one way to artists used to sign these deals. We signed deals with big ass record companies and shit for an advance. All that stuff is over, see? I mean, if you still on that, you just living in the past. But that ain't how artists do no more. Some do, a small percentage still do. But that was the whole template. That got broke down and we started learning independence a bit. And they had to figure out how to set up the industry in order to still get the lion's share off independence. So a lot of them figured out it wasn't in being record companies no more because artists want to be independent. So we need to give these artists the facade that they're independent, and we need to change our position in the game to distributor. But what we gonna do when we change our position in the game to distributor is infringe on more rights than the actual distributor normally would have back in the day when there was a distributor. And so a new technology came out. Digital, listening to music digitally. Now, if you go think about it, before digital was out, your distributor only distributed physical records. Because what was they wasn't distributing no MP3s, that wasn't out. It was only cassettes, CDs, or vinyl. So when we started wanting to go independent during those days, they was like, okay, we need to get in some, like I said, some hands in the distribution side of things. To go a little bit further, when technology started advancing, they started expanding their rights. Because in the beginning, they only could do physical anyway. So how all of a sudden you got a 20-year-old contract with a distributor, and when this new technology come out, now they feel like they got the right to take your product and sell it on that new technology too. Sid the Kid in the building, what's up with you? You feel me? So how they do that? Right? You said, I think Face is someone who held by Rap-A-Lot, all right, held up by Rap-A-Lot. Well, Rap-A-Lot is independent, I thought, right? But none of that is going to conflict with anything that we need to do in order to take back the industry and to get this money. Peace to Six Fingers. Thanks for the kind words. Much appreciated. Shout out to New Origin Joe, Jay Commodore. I see all of y'all. So informing these type of industries, I mean, they used to do this since ancient times. They used to get the cleverest people in a skill, right? And kind of like encircle them. But what's been happening to us with the streaming phenomenon, besides where I left off at digital, expanding their rights in the digital, distributors expanding their rights in the digital, which is something we need to talk about when we look at the 6 rights of copyright that you get. And you can see they really didn't even have the right to do that. And that was another piece of paper. But ultimately what we're going to get at is, if streaming, and I said this on Instagram the other day, I kind of said it harshly, but my point was, why at the end of the year is you going to hold up your streaming numbers and try to show that, look, I had 1 million streams, I had 1 billion streams. But what you really doing is promoting our own demise, because you're making it saying, okay, I'm contributing more to the person who's ripping us off. Look how much I've contributed to this system that's ripping us off. So how you get around it? Well, it's not that hard. And in getting around it, we're going to build a whole economy. In order to live my life, to support my family and do the things I do, I got to get around that. I ain't streaming. That ain't what people who listen to my music listen to it. Some people might for convenience. But ultimately, I am still tapped in with a long time fan base, which I have to say that that's a blessing to be able to. But these things can be built. I mean, artists don't just only listen to one artist. Some new fly stuff come out, they listen to that. So let's just start doing some numbers. All right, let's see this other Scarface video real quick. Then we're about to do some numbers. and really do the knowledge on this. There was a short one where he just was breaking it down. He said a number, and I want y'all to hear that number, which was $4,000 for 1 million streams. Well, maybe I should say shorts or something. Here you go.
I came across this video of the homie Scarface talking about the streaming and how he feel about the structure or how the royalties are paid. I want y'all to check out this video and we'll be right back.
Well, you ain't got to be dope no more. All you got to have is a lot of fucking Instagram made up ass followers. It ain't about skills no more. It's about likes. It's about clicks. It's about followers now. That's part of the main reason why I don't really fuck with it like I used to. Man, if you can listen to my song for under a penny.
Yeah, you're devaluing it.
Yeah, and you're devaluing, like, that's some shit. And you know what I'm willing to bet? I'm willing to bet that all record labels are tied into the streaming platforms at some capacity, because think about it like this. You got $12, $14, $10 a month, you know, and you got 20 million subscribers.
Who's making that money?
All right? Listen, 20 million subscribers or more subscribing to this channel or to this platform, and they all paying between $10 and $12, $14 a month. How much money is that?
It's a lot, bro.
It's a lot of fucking money. It's way more than the platinum album.
Hell yeah.
All right? So why in the fuck would I spend money to press up albums for a motherfucker that might not sell 20,000 records when I can soup all of this shit in one pot, make them pay me $15 a fucking month, take all the money and get this nigga less than a penny for people to hear his shit. But he spent $700,000 to make a fucking album.
Right.
All right, so
Now, I'm not of the school that you got. I don't got to spend shit for my art in order for it to hold its value. I've proven that plenty of times. I ain't got to come to my people like I gave some people at a studio all this money, and so now my shit worth something. Motherfuckers want to hear how I put words together, syllables and shit. So I'm not going to say, I ain't got to spend $700,000 on shit to sell you $100 album. If you consider it's worth it, that's the art. It's about the art that's encapsulated on the album. You ain't got to go back to how much you spent. And that's facts. But don't nobody know how much nobody spent painting the Mona Lisa. How much Van Gogh spent on his oil or some shit. How much Jimi Hendrix spent. Man, they talking about how good that art is on that medium. The medium is what we about to start talking about. Because when they scammed us is when they moved to, see, this is what be happening, and watch it whenever these new mediums come out. Right? These new mediums come out and then they get an opportunity to scam us. So what we didn't know before we learned about data manipulation, first, you can read a book from the past called How to Lie with Statistics. But it's the precursor to why data is so valuable now. Because we all could have access to the data right now, but they data mining and shit. But see, when they just had more access to the data and we didn't, they manipulated in ways to make us think certain shit. Man, if you were in full control, you could be like, all right, the numbers on record sales need to decrease 20%. And even before it's true. Because I'm not about to get into conspiracy. Let's just deal with straight hard facts. We was convinced that people didn't want physical units anymore, and all they wanted to do was streaming. Now that's a fact. Whether or not the numbers was manipulated in order for us to start believing this. Now I'm gonna say this, and this is the key to the shit. And this is how I survive. Every digital failure no matter what parameter you put it on, is a physical success. You might not be able to digest that with music real quick, but I'm going to just put it on the screen in a breakdown so you can learn that. Motherfucker might be having 10 streams. Man, I seen a motherfucker have no streams and get paid like $30,000 for licensing a song. But that ain't the same instance. I just wanted to show you, just talk about that one instance. So let's talk about it. First, let's deal with the numbers. And just like you said, let's deal with the numbers. Let me open up a Canva presentation. And we're going to just draw this up live so we can see what we're doing. Now, you can use ChatGPT, use anything, go to any website, go to any rapper page. They're going to tell you these gross ass numbers. Let me put this on the screen. And this is all about a digital failure being a physical success. So this is why they got us away from physical units, but they strong-armed us. See, this is what they did. They set up on the block with bigger stores, and they started carrying our units. And then the distributors got in cahoots with these bigger affiliates, the Walmarts and the Targets, who started carrying vinyl. And you did want to be in the mom and pops as an artist still, but the bigger artists was getting service to these stores. So now people have stopped getting their vinyl. Remember the whole year? Remember when Best Buys had the biggest music section? You could tell that shit was a hoax because that section ain't there no more. It was all a part of first kill the mom and pops, right? Then we taking control of where they get their music at. Then we shut all that shit down and we gonna go to streaming and get them pennies on the dollar. So if you understand that, you can reverse engineer the process. But let's put this stuff on the screen. Now watch this. So I'm still with my analogy and I gotta write it down so I won't forget. So I said, I need to write it smaller than that. So I'm gonna say, oops. Digital failure is a what I spelled wrong? Success? It ain't even turning blue. It ain't even putting up success. Look wrong. Like it need another C, bro. What's your problem? What is your problem? Oh, okay. You do need another C. I thought so. All right, so I just put that on there so we can illustrate this. Now, everybody told you if you sell, not sell, 1 million is worth what? I can make this bigger in a minute. Maybe I can make it bigger now. It's worth what? The average source will tell you 1 million streams is worth what? This is how you survive in hip hop. $4,000. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing you could do. You can put on all the ice you want. You can have the biggest medallion in the world. Nah. Well, now I want to verify that. I'll just take you right to ChatGPT or any source. Yeah, somebody else said 4K is 1 million streams on Spotify. It just said on Spotify. 1,000 streams is $3. So yeah, we about right. Right? Yeah, we about right. Various sources tell you about $4,000. So take it back to the gram. That person who shared his million streams shared that off his music for that year, he got 4 G's. right? But let me show you how. So this is, I'm gonna give him a name. Excuse me. I'm gonna call him Instagram rapper boss. Even though 1,000,000 streams ain't really a boss, we just gonna use these arbitrary numbers. Excuse me. It's just for me. That's him, right? Now we're gonna go underground rapper boss. He had to be a boss too. And how he do it? Well, we don't care about the fake numbers. Stop being tricked and concerned about a fake number that holds no value. This 1 million holds the value that you can feed your kids with of $4,000. See, you being tricked by being able to use numbers that go high up in the digits that don't reflect a good value. So what I'm focused not on this as an underground rapper boss, I'm focused on this. So now we go like this. And I'm just picking an arbitrary number, right? And this ain't really arbitrary. You can go look up vinyl or go from probably like 25 to 50 right now. You doing double vinyl, you could probably push it over 50. If I just go to my Bandcamp, I could just click to all these multiple sold out vinyls, right? Well, let's see. How is this sold out yet? 3 remaining of that edition. All right. But then if you go to, what was the last one I just did before that? The Art of Reanimation. And we check the cassettes is sold out. See that word right there? And the CDs is sold out. Now we got to deal with another label for the vinyl. So this is independent underground rapper trying to get more money, way more money than the person who putting up the 1,000,000 streams. But we're going to show you just how that works. So, okay, he said, dude, this gonna make you say, hell no. You won't even believe that shit. You know simple math, right? I mean, I don't even, it made me, this is disgusting. Because I actually start thinking about me doing my numbers incorrectly. It's so disgusting how bad we getting ripped off. Now, finish this equation right here. Finish this equation right here. What if the underground rapper boss had $40 vinyl? Dude, it's the simplest math. How many of those $40 vinyl do he have to sell to get what the Instagram rapper boss, right, who was talking about his 1,000,000 streams, which ain't even a lot, but it all works on percentages. It stays up. If you increase, if you go up to 10 million, then you're just gonna go up down here too. Can somebody please answer this simple question? How many vinyl do the underground rapper boss have to sell to equal the money made by the Instagram? No, he don't gotta sell no 400. Come on, bro. I don't even want to go hard on you. Just think about that again. Listen to my question. How many vinyl at $40 does the underground rapper boss have to make in order to get the same amount of money, which is $4,000? If he sold 10 vinyl, no, y'all tripping. All y'all tripping. Listen, I'm going to do it slow for y'all. If he sold 1 vinyl, he'd have $40. If he sold 10 vinyl, he'd have $400. If he sold 100 vinyl, thank you, Side 12. If he sold 100, pieces of vinyl. He got what 1 million streams is worth. Thank y'all for hitting up that 100. So that right there is ridiculous. And that's how you survive in hip hop. Because why? Because what does that lead to? Who's selling 100 vinyl? If anybody could, a church, anybody could sell 100 vinyl. So you doing 1,000 vinyl minimums. And each 1,000 vinyl equals what? Stop playing with me. Each 1,000 vinyl for you is gonna equal 40 bands or 25, because everybody don't sell at $40 to 40. Okay. Now, I just showed you all my instances. I put an L. I just showed you a couple of my instances where the vinyl was sold out, but let me just show you one more. Just so y'all can know, it don't gotta look like it's juking. It don't gotta be all over the place. Matter of fact, look, this brand new, hot, exclusive double vinyl is just sitting on the floor. This is worth so much. But I'm saving my last 30 copies for when we sell out so then I can autograph them and boost up the price. So thank you. You don't have to have them lofty ass numbers. If you can sit in blood, 4,000 vinyl was 100 racks at $25. So stop playing with it. Now I'm just telling y'all, this is from experience and this is not from, all right, look, you could go find my album called Truck Driver. Let me show y'all something. It's called Truck Driver. Casual truck driver. Oh, well, I'm tripping because they thinking of rapper album or rap album. If you put casual truck driver, then here you go. Truck driver, right? So when we was figuring this game out, it was based on what 40, Too Short. We all from the Bay. We all soaking game. And we all like, check this out. Even with my own label, Hyro, at this time I realized if I let Hyro sell these records, I get a little bit less. Right? Because it go back into the pot that we all keep to keep shit running. You feel me? Even if I gave it to any distributor or anybody, I was receiving less. So guess what I did on this album? I'll say we ordered 1,000 at a time back then. And we was on the road all the time. For this album, if you had this album, I didn't even let them sell this album at the merch booth. I did after a while. But when it first came out, if anybody can remember, I kept a box of 30 truck drivers in my hand at all times on the road, and it was like this. If you got this record, you got it from me in a hand-to-hand transaction. There was no other way to get this record but in a hand-to-hand transaction. For hella long. For maybe like a year and a half. Maybe like a year. Definitely for the first, like, I'm gonna just be modest to say 2,000 units, but in my memory, it was for the first 4,000 units. So think about that. And this right here, this was back $10. I remember we was doing $10 CDs. This was a CD. So each box I had was, to me, was 30 CDs worth 300. You feel me? And so I'm like, okay, cool. Now you'll run through at least a box. You'll run through more box a night if you perform it. But that's just was little shit. Eventually it built up and I sold hella units by hand. That's that out the trunk template. But let's get back to what we was talking about. Now, since we know that this is unbreakable, people gonna start presenting these problems like, I'll go back to this. Then I'm gonna make it big so I can talk for a minute. People gonna start presenting these problems like, ain't no record stores. They still control the stores. Nah, bro, this the future. We got all that game, right? So what we, in the reconstruction of hip hop, the hip hop economy, we gonna be smart as you are in all reconstructive phases. And so, yeah, let me come up off the screen so I can just build for a minute. Now y'all understand what I meant by digital failure is a physical success. Because 1 million streams ain't getting you nothing. But physically, if you had 1 million streams, then you damn sure could sell 100 vinyl. How come you can't sell 100 vinyl if you got 1 million streams? Again, on this show, I always talk about the most minimalist numbers. Because I never do 100 vinyl. I'm trying to do 1,000 minimum. 40 bands selling. I mean, that's what that's supposed to be. Right? You got, now, it really don't take no hella working together. Because cats ain't used to working together and shit, right? So you can't come up with no plan for no lazy motherfuckers to hella work together. You just got to show them. I know anybody who just seen that feel like they stupid. It ain't just vinyl. It's your art. So the medium you place your art on, if people want your art, they're going to listen to it on that medium until they convert it to the medium that they prefer. But they don't got the rights to stream it. Right? Now, so you in a deal with your distributor and they, you know, all you got to do, first, this is what we do. Let me just talk like we in a business meeting. You upload the album. We all gonna do this, by the way, we all doing this. All of hip hop is gonna do this in the same month. It need to be June of next year. Juneteenth. We're gonna take back the industry. It's gonna give y'all enough time to record the material that we gonna to fuel the economy. See what I'm saying? If I just got a vinyl for sale, I can't start a store. I can't even do a pop-up. But if we all do it in June of next year, and all you gotta do is report a fucking album for the movement. It ain't even gotta be your shit that you talking about for real. Everybody dropping in June, and those albums got delayed streaming at your damn distributor. Peace to Walk Liquor in the building. That boy know much. I need to bring you on the show to let you game cats one day. Now look, we gonna put them out physically in June, but they start streaming in December. Here goes some other stupid shit y'all be letting happen. Y'all be letting y'all distributors take your pre-orders. That's the stupidest shit in the world. You hella stupid. I'll never do that ever again. I'm not dumb. So you trying to tell me your distributor, the motherfucker ain't even getting the album yet. So why they get to hold the bread? Your dumb ass do your own pre-orders and buy your own shit when it come out and fulfill your pre-orders. Dude, I need to sit right next to the money. You see what I'm saying? I'm not like trying to, I lived hella life in my career where I was getting a check from other motherfuckers. I'm like, well, how's this my music and I'm getting a check from this dude? So I was trying to figure out how I cut out all these motherfuckers. Because direct to customer, that's what I told y'all. That's what we did, direct to customer. Wow, we was the first selling on the internet. We're one of the first bands selling on the internet with hieroglyphics.com. Shout out to Stinky. You can go to hieroglyphics.org right now and see the archives of all of our moves on the internet since 1995. We was selling MP3s when we was having to tell motherfuckers what they was. What's that? What's that? All right. So now how do it, yeah, it creates an economy, but the new economy is going to be this Reconstructionist hip hop economy. Before, we can't just buy the stores and have them ready for June. And if the distributors want a hand in this, they're going to shut up and listen, and they're going to do what the fuck we say, because they see you busting moves like that. You in the mood, if you in the meeting telling somebody this who know they middlemaning, they're going to fall back to their middleman position and stop trying to move so mean when you tell them this what you doing. They're going to try to find their new position in that, and they can't do that in a matter of meetings. They're going to have to hold, they got to figure out, just like they do every time a new technology come out, they figure out how to wiggle us. So check it out. Peace to Chap in the building. So say we targeted Juneteenth with the physicals. Where they gonna be on sale at? Well, we gonna have to target, it ain't no record stores like it used to be, right? So it's gonna be, we gonna have a whole nationwide, because we got the power now. It ain't just a casual release. Everybody dropping in June for that taking back the industry is gonna have a release. Physical release that needs to be serviced somewhere. Imagine if Rihanna, Kanye, Jay-Z, I don't give a damn, everybody was dropping. It's a store. We built the store from having the product. Y'all don't see? If that's 100 albums, that stocks a pop-up at least. That don't stock a pop-up? At least that stock a boutique. At least that stock these vinyl stores that still do exist that got a very small section on hip hop. What's up with Feezy? I say y'all know that's right, bro. When I get enough heart to come out in public with a plan, my shit gotta be foolproof, because I don't like being humiliated. I don't like a motherfucker poking holes in my shit. Like, they just gonna do this. They couldn't do shit. And if you really want to judge, we got enough time that we could manufacture in the US and keep them motherfuckers tied in the loop. But if we really want to, we could manufacture wherever we want to too. Then we taking that shit all the way back. We'll be draining all the money out the music industry. It ain't about them old songs and shit. You ain't gotta go tell them to take them down. Leave them up. They already got you, bruh. That's what I'm saying. There's ways you could go. I said that in the rap. I said, what I say? I said, I'm a bushwhacker. When I'm at the end of my trails, you push backwards. It was just a thought. Bushwhacker, push backwards. But at the end of my trails, I'm a bushwhacker, bruh. Like, okay, I'm not gonna go back looking and push backwards and be like, they got us. Let's you recover that later after you finish balling by coming up with a new idea that cripple what they doing. That shit easy. So if all artists don't want to do it, I'm just gonna keep just being me, surviving, trying to feed my family and running this company and making sure shit cool. But motherfuckers be complaining all on stream. I ain't getting no money for that. See, and on top of that, they forgot about physical so much that you ain't even in no physical deal right now. A lot of people is in deals and they not even in a physical deal. You gotta think about that. If you just got a digital distributor, that's what you got. That means you could go take this and get 100% of that and split it with your splits that make up the mechanicals for the record. You ain't got to pay for usage when you sell it physical. You only got to pay mechanicals. Usage is, they got to go collect that at publishing. So There we go right there. I mean, I just said Juneteenth arbitrarily because if don't nobody throw out nothing, and that give everybody enough time to at least record one product to drop that month physically, what would happen? Everything I just said would happen. It'd be crazy. So here go the process. We have to go into the process to see where we will find a hiccup. And people don't even know about the process. Let me tell you how you sell these damn vinyl. Motherfuckers be getting some vinyl and then try to do all hand to hands. Nah, bruh. We taking it back to the old school, bruh. It's still people out here, and I'm gonna tell you one of your strongest auxiliaries right now still. Somebody could put it in the chat. You know you're reading my mind. If you know the industry, you know the game, and people don't know how to get some vinyl off, what's one of their best auxiliaries right now? Oh, Chapstar, bro, let me tell you. We've been doing this shit since I was a kid, my nigga. East Oakland. You bootleg yourself, my nigga. Always bootleg yourself. Blood. If you know how to get this paper, you got the cheap version of your shit that you don't make it look like you the one still getting that money. Then you got the official one. But you got the initial files, so when you press up initially, if you're really worried about bootleggers, you bootleg yourself, bro. Come on now, you just don't put your logo on the bootleg. Hell fucking yeah. You don't let nobody, and you go hit all the bootleggers like, check this out. This the same shit on the law. Man, we used to go to the bootleggers, bro. We used to go to the bootleggers, my nigga, and tell them, give them music. The opposite. People used to go to the bootleggers and beat them up and take music from them. We was like, they hella stupid. We'd go to the bootleggers and be like, hey, who album you got right there? Just that new Jay-Z that you. All right, before that Jay-Z come on, let them hear this one song. Here go $100. All right, got you, cuz. You don't remember buying a bootleg and somebody else's song came on before the album? That was people like me trying to figure out a way. You know, I ain't trying to act like I was hella successful with that, but that's just some of the ways that we gotta do. Bootleg yourself. So this is what's gonna happen. Let's talk about the process because people don't know how to sell this vinyl. The industry process is this. Before you even press the vinyl, you take the cover of the vinyl and you make a document called a one sheet. All right, I need to open this back up. Let me see. One sheet. If you ain't never made a one sheet no more and you sell music, bro, come on now, you could try all over again. You could have a brand new, renewed try because you didn't know how to do it. What's a one sheet? Man, come on, I'm gonna bring ChatGPT in it. A one sheet is a text document that contains the selling points on your record. It also has a standard UPC barcode. All right. It only really need the cover and the UPC barcode, but that's a Boosie one sheet because this is what happens. Even to this day, and we're gonna bring back the birth of this job too. Stores still have buyers, right? So the buyer calling on the phone, oh, I got this CD. You don't know how the game goes. That's not how they review CDs. Normally, because they do what I said, it's industrious, right? And so in industries, they close doors and they make new red tape and shit so that the actual producer can't get to the customer so easy. So what happens here with the one sheet, buyers don't even like to take one sheets directly from artists. Ain't that fucked up? If you a store buyer and you don't accept one sheets from artists, you supporting the bullshit because it's these fake industries. That means the artist has to have a distributor in order for you to even look at his one sheet. The one sheet containing the information of a release that's soon to come. All of the good info about it. And if you raw, like me and my partner just came up with the best idea for a one sheet, I'm not even gonna say nothing about it. I can't give up the game. But what I can say is if you raw, you're gonna use creative and new ways on your one sheet so that when you know it's a human being reading it, you know you an artist. You don't want your one sheet to be looking all corporate and technical. Or he tours in the fall. He has this many followers. I told you I'm gonna be on my next. I can tell you the casual one sheet gonna say buy this shit, nigga, or something. Not the N word, excuse my language, but it's gonna say something audacious. And if they toss it away, they toss it away. But whatever the case, something gonna get somebody attention. Like this is right along with his image and everything he's doing, and this was a killer one sheet. Well, that's your duty to convince the buyer, which many of them don't exist, but they still even exist at bigger stores, to convince the buyer with the one sheet to take some of your units, right? But that's kind of like, you don't know who to go to, huh? So I'm gonna put one out. People didn't say this yet. Once you got your one sheet, who you gonna send that to? Well, I don't have to send these people no one sheet, but you probably do. If you never did it before. If you done it, once you got a relationship, you don't need that. You got relationships with people. And this is gonna help their business too, right? So you did have some good vinyl and you didn't know who one of the best. Can somebody say who one of the best hip hop vinyl vendors is in America right now? For anybody watching the show? Still to this day. To this day! Don't nobody know the best vinyl vendors? Well, they could take some units off your hands, especially if you got a name. Don't be no rapper watching this. So I'll be having little plans like I could go through Oakland, bro, and set up a whole new empire. Because all the gangster rappers never got no vinyl, bro. Thank you, Walt. I was waiting for Walt to say it because I was like, I know Walt's still here. He know the answer to that. Fat Beats, no, not Sony. You won't get nothing trying to take your shit to Sony. You take it to Fat Beats, you could get an issue. They do this. They still hip hop. They still like back in the day. And I ain't gonna talk about their business structures, but I can tell you they still help artists who got vinyl that's gonna move. That's a place where DJs know they could get vinyl. Think about I'm just from Oakland, so think about any Oakland rapper that don't got no vinyl for nothing. Missing out on the money, but they gonna show you how many streams they had in this motherfucker. I ain't coming down on my niggas. I'm just keeping it a buck. I'll be kicking back, not eat tree. So if you want to be a modest rapper, don't go over 1,000 vinyl. Because you're gonna be sitting with some units if you don't know how to push them. I could get certain people to take at least 500 units at one time, but they're not gonna take them for this 40. But if you want that 40, if you want that 40, then the vinyl gotta be 60. You're not gonna get that 40 if you sell them like that. But look, if you want that 25, you still could probably get that. I don't know if they'll be willing to make $15 a unit. I'm not talking, that's why I took their name off the screen, because I'm not talking about what they will do, but I'm talking about a person. Let's make me the store. If you came to me with your vinyl that you only sell for 40 and you giving them to me for 25, I'm thinking I could make 15 to sell. Snap my fingers, I'm taking that. So you're gonna get off your bulk loads at $25. You wanna go lower than that? If your vinyl, you don't think your art can maintain that price, pick any number, bro. It's all arbitrary. It's still the same formula, right? $10, you tripping. Stop degrading your music. Don't sell no vinyl for nothing under a dub. Dub 5 average. So there you go. Now, here we go. Vinyl still doing its numbers. We gonna force CDs and cassettes to do their numbers again too. Because we're gonna surround it with the infrastructure that it takes. Damn, see, some of the stuff that I'm doing, I'm trying to be inside of setting up this new infrastructure for helping cassettes and CDs come back. But it's gonna have to be something that make that pop. You feel what I'm saying? And so now the hella new technologies, I ain't gonna talk too much on that, but let's just say that people say they still buy CDs. People still buy vinyl. The movement is over 100 new albums. If you could get 100 artists to do it, it's already cooking. If you could get some of the big name artists to do it, all they doing is releasing a damn album in June. It could be an EP. And they're gonna do more than that. They're gonna release it in June of next year, and what else they're gonna do? They're gonna tell their distributor that there's a delayed digital release. I say 6 months, but we could do 3 months. 3 months is enough to get that paper, because ain't nobody gonna wanna be seeing that they could hear a song on the radio. We still got it on the radio. They hear it on the radio. Who don't listen to radio, they can hear it on satellite radio. Or they can hear their partner ride around who was up on game knocking it. They're going to bootleggers again. Well, you can't bootleg yourself along the whole world, right? Unless we get those networks set up. Like, you just set up that network again, and that's a whole nother conversation. But we got all this communications now. If it ain't really a bootleg, they not really committing a crime. They just selling a cheap version, which is only available on the streets. See, they really tied in with the real company, so you can set that up all over the nation, providing jobs for people. But I ain't trying to get off point. That streaming shit is dead. And it don't really need to be much more that need to be said on that, bro. We gonna go over to the touring and stuff. It's the same template. But here go another piece of game. Any show that you've done, well, let me see. You don't even gotta be, I was speaking from being the headliner of that show, but there's all kind of circumstances that could cause you to be the headliner. You gotta realize how to do that too. So let me give you a nice template that'll make some money that we learn. A free show or a door split. Remember, we start from the ground up every time we build on this show. We don't try to be no ballers. I can tell you how to book a Coliseum. I can tell you how to shut down all the streets in Oakland for what you want to do. But that's not going to help. So let's start from the bottom. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just be saying, sometimes I get too caught up with that. But still, though. If we was going over to touring, first of all, everybody don't believe in themselves. And you don't really gotta all the way believe in yourself to pull off an accurate door split. A door split is when you split the door with the venue and you might let them have the bar, right? You gotta pay more than the dub to make the vinyl. Hell no. Hell no. Dub vinyl hella cheap. If you got those bad prices, holla at me. That you don't gotta play nowhere near that. The markup on vinyl should at least be 4 times. I mean, if your art is worth anything. My art is worth way more than the piece of wax that they pressed up. If not, just buy the wax with nothing on it. So I feel you gotta pay more than the dub to make the vinyl. Nah, you don't gotta pay that dub. To give an arbitrary number, you can make about 1,000 vinyl for $5,000. Feel me? So if you sell them for 40, you're gonna make back 40,000. If you sell them for 25, you make back 25. They don't all have to sell in the first week. You could say how much I need to survive. You need 5 G's a month. Then tell yourself that's how many vinyl I gotta sell. If you're not selling them hand to hand, you got a website up too and everything, and you getting your content up to make people want to buy that shit. But I don't want to be distracted. No, I don't mean distracted, but I was going to carry on and start talking about how you get on the road by yourself. So when I had to start booking my own tours, I had to humble myself a little. Because my guarantee chunky right now. So this is what humbling yourself would do. You could work yourself back to a cool guarantee. But when my guarantee was hella low, I had to humble myself and take shows that probably is embarrassing to even say that I perform for that much. I probably would do to the minimum of $500 show for like 30 minutes. Because in the reality of things, if it took me 30 minutes and I wasn't even getting no money nowhere else, I would do shit like that. Now I never do no shit like that. I just turned down 2,500. I don't feel like it. Because I worked my numbers back up, and the last show I did was packed and I got double that. So my numbers, they look at your numbers. And if you're going against yourself, then you crazy. But the process of working my way back up from a 500, well, actually, a door split is no guarantee. So I did less than 500. I earned more than 500, but if you agree to a door split, you don't know what you're going to get. I set up a whole door split tour and came back with paper. It took a little bit of believing in myself. It took a little bit of budgeting real strong and having some effing merch, dog. Merch. So I was going to say earlier, your best show that you've ever done, if you headlined it, you always, if you have an efficient team, you most always equal the amount that they were willing to pay you to perform in merchandise sales. You come very close if you got a super efficient setup. Sometimes you could be charging way more than that, and it ain't like that. It might not be like that for Snoop Dogg. You charge $100,000 to do a small ass club, then it ain't like that. But if your numbers are like the average artist, so basically if you went to any club and you didn't have merch, you got to work your way up to this. But it's almost the same too if you are an opening act. Because you're going to get hella paid, hella less to be the opening act. You also going to get less money on the merch. But what you learn as a rule is that you may equal to almost more on the merch than you did on the stage. So that means if you go to any show without merch, you telling yourself you won't have the money. So if I book a tour, now let's talk about these humble numbers and the why I might used to would accept them. Oh, it's all good. Yeah, why we used to accept those numbers. Because I would do it like this. First of all, $500 in a day is a good job. Just a regular man job. It ain't balling, but you are able to provide, right? So I would keep that in mind. I also would be like, okay, you have to have what's called an anchor show. An anchor show. A show that pays enough or it does enough to take you in that region so that you can even do. These are the terms. If you don't know the terms, if you say an anchor show to somebody who booked shows, they're gonna know what you're talking about. You telling them you need something to even bring you in that area. And then all your other shows could be fillers. Your anchor show normally gonna be the Saturday, the Sunday. God damn, I need to clean my throat. I need some water. I Instacarted some water a minute ago. I need to go downstairs and get it. But your anchor show will be able to possibly be a guarantee if you raw enough. And then let's be humble. I think I've done non-guaranteed anchors, but I knew the region I was in. Like I do a non-guarantee in Seattle all the time and beat the brakes off and sell out the whole shit. You feel me? In a small, maybe 300, maybe like the Crocodile. Got a good relationship with them just as casual. Because I done sold it out a few times. Just rolling through. And there's other venues like that. And so, what you're going to think about is you stringing shows together. And nowadays, you're not accepting that 500. But if you starting and you just start, if you got any type of name, don't accept that shit. But if you just starting, accept that. If you never done a tour, accept that shit. But unless you a boss or something, feel me? You just a regular musician, because you can work with that unless you got a big ass band. I'm a solo artist, sorry. I can't work with that. I have in the past, I don't anymore. But let me show you how it works. You got your anchor show. And say back then I would try to just get a $1,500 anchor. I wasn't even tripping. So then all week I got 500s because they off nights. You might have a door split on a Monday. But I got merch and I'm not stupid. So we're going to put the numbers right on the screen with a quick calculator. And I had people who could keep me busy every night. Like we'd be driving all day, but then in the next night we'd get it. So let's just say you had 5 shows. That's a hard week. So say you have 4 shows for 500, right? And then you got your anchor on that Saturday, which you got them to give you 1,500. So this will get eaten up a lot with expenses. But what you're gonna have is that merch, and from my little formula, you're gonna have 7 racks at the end of the week. If you're doing the modest, because you won't have 7 racks. 7 racks, you would have. Let me say that better. You would have possibly earned the same amount as merch as you earn on a door split or a small guarantee. For my 30 years of experience would tell me that that's just close to 90% true, right? And so after that 1 week, I would not be sitting on 3,500 from doing the shows. I might be sitting on 2,500 because I had to spend 1,000 in a week on expenses from gas, rent a car, and the room. But I selling merch. So the merch bread at the end almost every time it wound up a little bit better than the other bread. That's just little breakdowns. Just like we was talking about a 1 sheet for your physical units, it's the same industrious process with booking a tour for yourself. I could book a show for myself right now and get a guarantee live on YouTube right now. And I didn't pre-plan this. I know one or two. I could possibly route the whole West Coast in within the hour while we live streaming right now, because of the connects I've built up, because of my small little number history in doing these little clubs that might know me. But you don't have to have nothing particular to me. I can show you what you would do, obviously, if you wanted to start doing it. First things you got to consider is clubs is about to have a radius clause a lot of the time, and you want to respect their radius. So a lot of the times you're going to do 60-mile radius. You don't have to do 60-mile radius. If they cool, you don't want to do Oakland and Frisco. But I'm saying, if it's cool, you're going to start where you start and try to get the talent buyer at that venue to give you a night. If you can't get the talent buyer to give you a night, you got to start talking to a promoter who already got nights. What you want on that night, when you contact the talent buyer, you want to get a hold on a particular off night for a door split. Dude, I don't be saying more than that. Motherfuckers who call with them long ass sentences and shit, they be knowing you don't know what you're talking about and you don't know what you're doing. Well, I'm gonna be looking like 3-4 months in advance, because I know you're gonna been and looked at their calendar already. You're gonna target a date that you already know they ain't got it on their calendar. So you want to start with an anchor, but I'm just starting with the door split anyway, because I've had to do this before. So then you find the venue that you want to do, contact the venue. They got a person called the talent buyer. Most every venue got a talent buyer. If you contact a venue and ask who the talent buyer is, right, and they don't got one, they ain't gonna look at you like you used the wrong terminology. That's an industry term. So they just gonna be like, oh, here comes business, and we're not in that position. So you looking for the talent buyer. Forget the bartender or the bouncer and all this stuff, the promoter. No, y'all be looking for the wrong places. The talent buyer. That's who you want to be having a drink with. But anyway, just like you giving a one sheet to the record stores, you telling the talent buyer, you submit him your tour routing or something, right? You don't have to submit him your whole routing. You can just tell him about it and what night you're looking for, what tour this is, who own it, and what night you're looking for, right? What if you're looking for a guarantee? You can negotiate a guarantee if your numbers work that way. Like if I was booking for some bands, I could easily get them a guarantee from hell of these clubs. That's just part of the game. That's what they do. They know that you're gonna bring this many people to their bar, so they're gonna give you that. They'll guarantee you an amount of money. But if you haven't worked up to that yet, you don't want to be acting all like a big shot. You just hopefully they give you the best you could do is 100% of the door if you're brand new. How do you leverage that? In two ways. You can't build bad relationships. So if they give you the door split, and if you were strong enough to negotiate 100% of the door, how do you negotiate 100% of the door? If you can give them a guarantee. See? You gotta start being on some business. I'm saying, excuse my way, I be having to say this shit every now and then. It just get me just to keep talking. Look, you coming to them for them to give you a guarantee, but you so raw in business, you gonna flip it back, say, I don't need your guarantee. I'm gonna give you a guarantee. What you gonna guarantee? I'm gonna guarantee that your bar is at 70% capacity. Give me 100% of the door. I'm guarantee your bar gonna be at 70% of capacity. You keep the bar, I keep the door. Look, I got this many followers. Bow. All right, what night? We ain't doing nothing on that night. Well, that's just how that go. Send over the paperwork. Bow. So now you got that one night. It don't matter what city that was. You could be so far away saying that you could call, I'll call the Brooklyn Bowl right now on the phone live and be like, what's up? I'm trying to get a hold on hieroglyphics on September. No, they wouldn't be able. I have to be like December the 3rd. A hold for hieroglyphics, we gonna be there on Tuesday. We need a guarantee of this amount. Tell me what y'all can do. That's the language and that's the end of the sentence. So when y'all remember casual, you going on tour? That's all that was, sitting up and routing it right. Routing it in a way that you can make some money, because if you don't route it in a way that you can make some money, routing it correctly. Open up a map. Use 60-mile circles and find clubs that do hip hop in 60-mile circles. Call the talent buyer and spit your LIPs. Y'all thought it wasn't that easy? When we were saying independent and stuff, dude, I was signed to a major label. So I got to sit there and look like the spook that sat by the door and even see how they was doing it. My first radio tour was booked by Chris Lighty. Stop playing with me. Before any of y'all knew him, he was he worked radio at Jive Records. He booked my first, me, Chris Lighty, rest in peace, and Domino went to this restaurant. I had the weirdest experience. The lady, it was this clairvoyant lady at the restaurant, right? And she kept on staring at me, dog. I was having a meeting with Lighty and Domino about my first run like this. And this lady kept staring at me. She had on like gypsy clothes. We eating in the restaurant. Every time I look, damn, the gypsy lady on my head. She started looking at me so hard that it was uncomfortable to eat. And she got up. I was trying to do everything. I was young. I was thinking mean mugging would work. I was thinking all these things would work. Things I wouldn't do now. Now I just ignore her. But I was trying to get her to stop staring at me. Man, eventually she got up and walked over to the table. Me, Domino, Chris Lighty sitting there. And she told me something, dude. And I was like, she shouldn't even know that. She said something that she shouldn't even know to me right there and walked out the restaurant. Well, whatever it was, she knew that I was under the guidance of the other two people at the table. But she had no way of knowing that because physically I was like the biggest person at the table. So it's not like I looked like, well, Lighty was probably like 6'3", 6'4". I'm only 6'2", but I weighed a little bit more back then. She walked back to so she wasn't looking like he the little kid and they the grown-ups. She walked up to the table and was like, said some stuff to me about about guidance and stuff. And walked out the walked out the restaurant. But anyway, I just got sidetracked telling the story to go back to say, when routing those initial tours, I got to see how they was doing it. And then I got to watch Domino. Domino routed all our initial tours by himself. No help, We didn't have no agent, and we was going on tours with fat ass tour buses. You feel me? To where I just start asking questions like, how the hell we do this? How we do that? How we do this? Did I change my decision on the business? I'm sorry. I don't know what that's referring to, dude. But I still want to keep talking about routing this tour. I apologize because my short-term memory is hella bad. So if I just said something about that should trigger. It's not triggering, and I don't know what that's referring to. Did it change my decision on the business? Did what change it? Tell me. The story I just told? Oh, that lady. You talking about the lady. Did she change my decision? Okay. Thank you, dude. You like, dang, that boy loaded. No, my short-term memory ain't the best, but when it goes out a few minutes, I remember stuff. She, nah. But it didn't change my decision, but it raised my antennas. It made me start being visceral and observant. Because that's basically what she was trying to tell me in a lack of better words. Be more visceral and observant. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what it caused me to do. But I was just saying that to say Lighty was my he booked before he got big with 50 Cent and the Violet, all them people. We was little together. I was little with hella people. Like when Nas first wanted to perform on the West Coast, he was opening up for me. And he was hard. He was hard. Like, I gotta tell y'all, my one encounter with Nas was in the 90s, 1991. No, 1992 in Seattle at The Bomb. It was called The Bomb. It was a little magazine from the 90s, and they had an album release, and guess who it was? The Fugees was opening. Then this raw dude who was about to come out from New York named Nasty Nas. And it was Casual headlining. So when I walked backstage, I seen Nas. But Live at the Barbecue was already out. But his album wasn't out yet. Illmatic wasn't out. But it might as well have been, because when I walked, I'm the headliner. It was my backstage. Nowadays, Nas kick everybody out of backstage. So I could have did that in the 90s and just said, get out of here, right? But I was wanting to meet him. Bro, this dude was so hard that when I walked, he was by himself too, so really he was scared. But he was hard enough to do that when he was scared. He wasn't no punk. We all get scared, right? What you do when you get scared is when we say you a punk or you hard. Now, he was kind of spooked, I'm going to tell you man to man, because I was nervous too. But I wasn't on the East Coast. He was on the West Coast in Seattle. Bro, when I walked backstage, this fool was like, when I walked backstage, this fool, I said, what's up? Man, he had his arms folded like this. He looked me straight in my eyes and did not move his jaw. He just ice grilled me, dude, on the wall like this. And then I said it again. Cause I ain't even tripping. I'm like, oh man, he in this little shit. I'm like, what's up? Straight B-boy stands. I'm never gonna forget that either. I looked at that nigga, I turned and I said, man, I'm about to body this shit tonight. And that was that. I can't remember the performances from that night, but the Fugees was there too. But he was hardcore. But anyway, back to the knowledge. If you scared to now, if you ain't got, let me talk about it, man. So how would you get some more money out of this if this ain't enough money for you? And how do you make it work all the way, make it work? This how you make it work. This 3,500 that you made from that week, throw that all away. Erase that. You don't want none of that. You don't even deserve it yet. I'm gonna give you the money that you deserve. Look, remember that 3,500? Because I accepted 500 5 nights, and then at the end I had an anchor that was 1,500 or whatever. 4 nights, and then the anchor of 1,500. Well, take that money and don't ask them for that, especially if it's your first time. Guess what you about to do? You can ask for a door split and then have the options from going from free, hear me out, from free to $5, old school. They say $5? Bruh, then go free then. If $5 make you feel cheap, then go free. Because imagine this. If you are performing for the first time on tour, and I just told you, majority of the time, if you get the numbers inside the venue, your merchandise most often, no matter if they know you or not, if you do a good performance, your merch booth gonna do good. And it's gonna pay for better than that number that we just erased. So now you gave a guarantee. I mean, you don't have to give a guarantee, but if you think you're strong, you can give a guarantee to the club. I'm at least gonna get y'all bar 50% full. So give me 100% of the dough. They give you 100% of the door, you ain't gonna owe them nothing. Because sometimes that make you get a minimum. All right, now you say it's free. And you get to promoting, however you promoting your tour, you get to promote that you're gonna be in the city and the show is free. Think you can make it? Well, let's talk about it. Do that enough. We used to get to this number of 30 cities, right? I learned between 15 and 30 cities you could bring in what's called sponsorship. Now, what sponsorship is somebody who's gonna throw you some money for exposing their product to those people when you go on the road. The easiest California sponsorships used to be weed companies. I mean, if you want to get now, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to say something that a lot of people are going to shun upon, but I'll be talking business. Check this out. It's bad and we stopped doing it a long time ago. But the very, you're going to say, oh, you're going to really say, oh, when I say this. So what, I'm saying it. The easiest sponsorship to get is tobacco companies. Oh, no, I ain't did that ever. I did it once when I was younger. Then I was like, this is the stupidest shit I ever did. Rapping for Marlboro or some shit. Or even having to put up a jewel like they got them vape pens. That's quick sponsorships. But whatever, you ain't trying to get into that, so I ain't either. That's not good. Because now you're giving bad health out. So the next up is liquor, doing the same thing. Liquor sponsorships be cool. Then you go with the marijuana sponsorships. Those will be throwing you some bread to help you do what you got to do. When it comes down to the hemp and the cannabis, some people consider that different. And you could get a young cannabis strain to throw grand at your tour if you can guarantee you're going to be in front of that many people from their demographic within their region of sales. It's not the hardest thing to do, and a lot of that shit happened with a handshake and all right, let's do it. So don't think that can't happen. Once you got to leverage things right.
So the leverage, we'll talk about leverage and positioning, and then I'm about to have to, because I done did about 2 hours, I still didn't go get my water. Let me order some food. Well, I gotta talk. So leverage and position. How do you start with leverage when you gotta create leverage? So in chess, you don't need, I mean, chess is an algorithmic game and each move goes together, right? But in theory, you only need, I mean, each move got its own task basically, and you don't need to be having all the whole system together before the pawns step out. You could be one of them people who go knights over or do whatever, but your pawns are starting to set up your whole way that you'll be able to leverage the board or leverage your position on the board. So in this instance, it's going to be your first move is where you bust that first move, because you don't have really no leverage until you secure a venue, right? In order to secure a venue, you need some leverage. So you got to ask yourself, what do you want? What do you need? What does a venue want? And what does a venue need? A venue, we'll start with them, they don't want you to dance. They don't want the party to be cracking. They don't care if it's dulled in the mug. They want to sell liquor. So all venues want to do. So they play music to keep you entertained so that they can sell you liquor. Right? That's what they want. You remember that because you're trying to figure out how to build leverage. What do you want? The venue to let you use it for free. So how you leverage that? With a grassroots approach, you have to be able to demonstrate that you have people. You could demonstrate it fake, with fake stuff, and it's going to blow up right in your face. Or you could demonstrate it by showing whatever you've really built up in that area, or the ways that you're going to get to people in that area. So if you don't got followers to say, look, I got this many people. If people find out I'm in this city for free, I'm at least going to fill up half your bar. And I'm willing to guarantee you that. Or you ain't going to get them nothing. Well, shit, you know what I'm saying? But whatever. Sometimes they'll ask for a cash guarantee. If you got heart, you're going to give them a cash guarantee. If they sell any liquor, they're not going to ask you for that money, bro. But anyway. Damn. Excuse me, let me check the chat. All right, cool. You got that first show, you learning how to leverage it. Your leverage is grassroots approach. You got people. They want people at their bar. Your second approach is to prove they don't just want people, they want people to drink safely. Because they'll turn you down if they think that the people you're going to bring is going to bring some type of harm to their establishment. So everything down to the way you articulate. I'm just telling you, man. The way you sound when you call. The way your email is formed and the type of music you do. All of that will come in play too. Let's take the worst case scenario. Let's say you do shoot 'em, bang, bang. Then just only contact the venues that already play that. Don't just try to go route no worldwide door split at any old venue, because your music ain't cool for any old venue. You got to pick them genres. Is they not gonna fuck with you. As soon as they see, they gonna click your link and be like, we're not booking this guy. You know what I'm saying? But if you think anything I told you couldn't have been done 10 times while I was watching this video, then you tripping. Everybody who know and got the game know that's how you do it. I probably left out a few steps. You know what I'm saying? We got better. Well, I don't do that now no more. I'm willing to do it. Even if I booked something like that, I wouldn't do, at this stage, I wouldn't take no door splits. and I will be wanting close to my guarantee. That's why I don't perform as much, because I got a higher guarantee. And if I do 10 shows in a year, now at my guarantee, I would make more than I would make if I used to do 2 tours. So I only need to work less to make something equal, and I'm sticking to my guns. Man, I can gave up a lot of free game on there. The Cash App is Smash Rock if y'all want to, give me a coffee or something, some now laters, just for giving you all that free game, you know what I mean? I can't continue. Routing is easy, bruh. That shit fun too. And building relationships with those people is fun. I'm telling you things from my past history today, currently. I mean, y'all seen me walk through various projects and do all kind of shit. Right now, I'm just focusing on taking our brand out of merch. I don't like that word no more. Merch. We made that shit up, and what it really means is low quality shit. Everybody merch ain't low quality, but hear me out. Merch means buy this from the artist as a token of your appreciation, and don't really trip too much off the quality. If you got good quality, that's a bonus. But when I buy merch, I don't be tripping off the quality. I just be like, I love this concert. Ooh, I want the hoodie. Right? Then the afterthought is, how good is this quality? Well, my focus is on getting up out of that shit. I want to do the high end stuff. Did you see the link I sent? The Hyro performances. I'm sorry, I didn't see the link. I don't see any link. I don't even think you can send a link in the chat unless you're a moderator. But you can spell out what the link is or take the link, the www part off of it. I don't see anything, bro. Now, let's go back to what I started with. We need to have some type of forum discussion and let cats know to play. We need to have others. We're going to be industrious with this. So others who aren't musicians need to start developing the technology, updating the technology, which I'm already got my hand in it. Updating the technology to support the resurgence of physical units. Because cats ain't gonna be really one, cats don't got them old walk around portable Walkmans, and it need to be something new. So we need to start developing the technology that make that workable. Let me throw it out here. Now, maybe something gonna need a micro disc slot. Not even a micro disc. No, I got better. Let me talk about it. It's one device. Now I don't want y'all to take my ideas and shit. But just know that this shit ain't hard. Not even my ideas, because I'm not developing this. But somebody could just make one device that got all of those and plus all the new technology and Bluetooth. Right? And then a cloud that put it all on your other devices. Stop playing, man. This shit's so easy to do. So remember when Kanye came out with the piece of technology that supported the release of Donda? Well, if we all going back to these formats, space is opening up for cats to develop turntables, Walkmans, speakers. I said speakers. All that type of stuff. Boom boxes. New ones though. So now you know that JBL boom box. Just develop one with a little cassette thing on the front. It'll be better than everybody's. They be like, that's hella clean. And then they got all them different formats. So this is how that move will be supported. Lastly, we got to talk about POV. Oh, I said POV. POS. Point of sale, not point of view. Point of sale. What's going to be the points of sale? Well, we talked about Fat Beats and certain distributors like that. They got those internationally.
You could go through 1,000 units and not even do no hand-to-hands through going through these one-stops, right? But if we got this one sheet, it's going to be a different process. Since they set up an industry where store buyers will only take one sheets from distributors, we're going to change the game. And we're not going to let distributors get the one sheet. We make the music. So how you going to tell me you only take one sheets from distributors and distributors don't got the one sheet on this product? Don't know distributor got it. Now you're saying you don't want the product. But we in the technological age where everybody got followers. So instead of posting some girls fighting or some dudes in the ghetto fighting, post your one sheet publicly now. Man, this is too much game. A cover of the album with all of the key selling points, the barcode, and the number to call to buy some units. Now imagine that. If the new Jay-Z record got posted up there like the new Jay-Z is out now, it's coming out for retail in a month, but wholesalers could buy it right now. Dude, you will be able to start jobs in the world. People will be getting bundles. Like, man, I need 30 of them Jay-Z's. Them go like hotcakes. Well, y'all know what I'm saying ain't wrong. And so I think I've talked about it enough. This needs to be packaged up into a series of well-produced videos and content that people can digest and consume in a matter of 2 or 3 minutes. I spent almost 2 hours talking. Let me know if y'all still out there. I ain't seen nobody say nothing in the chat in a minute. I see Ben Nisu, but I don't even know if people watching. Man, that's easy to do. Now, I said anybody could do this, because let me tell you the ultimate game. This piece of vinyl, I think we is selling this double for 40. It was not initially my ideal to press up this vinyl. As a matter of fact, when I last went to Germany, 2 Polish dudes told me they had, I'm walking down the street. Y'all ain't gonna believe none of my stories. But it was kind of like after we finished performing. It was either after we finished performing or before sound check. And I'm at the Germany show and I'm walking down the street and these 2 white dudes stop me. Casual! Matter of fact, oh my God. These, wait a minute. I said they Polish, right? One of them, their company is Polish, but they might be German. These were the ones who told me how to pronounce the vertible. Remember, we be studying this shit, and then all of these pseudo scholars over here be referring to this German book, and they be saying that shit wrong. I'm not condescending on them. I said it wrong my whole time too. And I was the only one who had the privilege to actually be in Germany and ask somebody, how you really pronounce this book? So I was like, it's in the word, we used to say the Wörterbuch. Oh my God. And I was in Germany talking about, it's in the Wörterbuch. They was like, huh? The Wörterbuch? What are you talking about? I'm like, you know, it's in the Wörterbuch. These dudes was like, the Wörterbuch? I said the dictionary. They started laughing. Oh, vertible. I said, vertible? If you speak German, let me know if I'm saying that shit right. Yeah, because what they taught me is a W ain't a W, bro. They like, you see the W, you saying Wörterbuch. The CH ain't the CH, and the W ain't the W. W is a V in Germany. But these dudes, after they finished talking to me about that, They was like, hey, we want to put out one of your old albums on vinyl. Now, they don't rap. They just got game. They was like, we want to put out one of your old albums, Meanwhile, on vinyl. Now, this is a record I recorded in 1997 in between being dropped from a major record label and setting up to go independent. 1997. This tour I did was in 2003, maybe 2004 when we was in Europe. I said, yeah, give me your number. It's all good. They wanted to get the rights to this to do a limited run. So I charged them a limited amount calculated on what I thought they was going to sell them for. So I want my money up front. Right? So I had to calculate it on, and then I charged them what was called a licensing fee, a limited licensing fee, so that they could press up this. They got the rights to reproduce this and sell a limited amount as depicted in the contract. Now, here go the thing. They don't rap, like I said. They just got some game. So when I say anybody could do this, here go the joke. Since we know it's a movement back to vinyl, I could be hella greedy, dude, and I'm just not. I got enough for me and cool. I want more, but you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be greedy. But I could Suge Knight this shit and just go through Oakland offering all the rappers who ain't getting their money a vinyl deal. Same way they did this to me. They didn't do anything wrong. They offered me an opportunity, gave me some money, and then I get to make money on the back end. So this is what you do if you're just sitting up with some paper, you know some artists that ain't making money off music. Contact them. Your template is 1,000 units. You could go under 1,000 units, but your template is 1,000 units. Why am I telling you that? That's almost like a pallet of records. If you ain't got no place to store, you ain't gonna be storing them. Let's just say you might find somebody, you going back to that MOQ, your minimum order quantity. The less you order, the more they're gonna cost. So cats who be ordering like 100 vinyl do be having to pay like $20 a vinyl. You order 1,000 of them and say, look, this is all that's gonna be in existence. If you can't get rid of 1,000 of them in your whole existence, don't do music because it don't make no sense. If you don't think that you can reach 1,000 people over the lifespan of the project, really do something else. I can't tell you no other thing. Like, you can reach 1,000 people. I can say that more inspirationally. Like, even if you're nobody, dog, you can reach 1,000 people. I'm saying everybody's somebody, even if this is your first day making music, is what I'm saying. Hence, that would be nobody, because no one knows you. But, yeah. So, the template for that is go holler at an artist who juking that don't got vinyl, that's sitting around complaining, and say, do a 50-50. You can start your label today. It's not complicated. Do a 50-50. What's the 50-50? It's worth it. You didn't do no art. All you doing is juking. Let me show you the 50-50. This is why you do a 50-50, bro. Stop playing. Guys don't understand shit. There's always a 50-50 after expenses. You got to make sure that's the lingo. If you don't say that, you effed yourself. So, all right, you're going to take the template we got and start running up on people. You want a limited license. Look. Of 1,000 units. I mean, you're going to write on the paperwork, I can't press up more than 1,000. So how am I about to, did I spell license wrong? Damn, man. How is it going to turn out wrong? Right? Now you're going to give them all the breakdown. So this is the license you want. You're going to pay them, judging by the what this could do and the numbers, I say give them 5,000. If you don't want to do, you could get people to agree to it for less, but don't give them more than that. From this number, don't give them more than 5,000. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't gonna try to talk. If I took 20 grand right now and went into Oakland, to the club in Oakland, and I could have a deal with me, or I could have a DocuSign with simple language that you can read in the club. I can leave the club with these deals. Everybody know I could. If I say I got the money on me, or I'll give you a check right now. What you saying, cuz? You gonna give me 5 racks right now to do 50% vinyl? Yeah, bro, stop playing, nigga. Have I got in trouble doing business in this fucking city? Don't even be starting to talk that stupid shit. I'm trying to tie you in. All right. All right. All right. You about to give me 5 racks. Sign right here, bro. Shut up. As a matter of fact, I'll give you 2,500 right now, 2,500 when you finish because you acting like a buster. You feel me? So limited license. Now this is what you want. You want a license for 1,000 units. You're gonna license. This is called the licensing fee. Let me show you how this work for you. This is what you offer them for the rights to put it out. I'm telling you, don't go over 5 grand, but if you're a negotiator, you could do it for anything from 0 to 5 grand. Now, this is what the key is. 50, 50, excuse me, 50-50 split after expenses. All right? Now, I'm going to put a red on this for both sides of the game, because I'm teaching artists and I'm teaching artists and people who just want to be in the game. You got to know this statement from both sides of the game, bro. You get your wig wounded, not know. Check this out. I'm about to put some more words up here and then I'm going to ask y'all a question. Limited license, 100 using, licensing fee, 5,000, 50-50 split after expenses. I'm just gonna put MSRV, but you know, suggested sale price, right? $40. 25. You can say 20, just to be honest. Then that you know they're gonna take it. What other details you gonna put? Well, it's only 1,000 units, so you don't gotta put no time period. All the other text is going to limit the term simply to what you're saying. Now, you see the math right here, so let's do a calculator. And let's see if this is an honest deal for you. That's why you stopped at 5 grand. Because when you take 1,000 and multiply it by 40, if you do retail sales, you're going to have 40,000. So that's the potential of the deal you about to cut with them. But you can squeeze more out of that. I'll tell you how, but we ain't gonna worry about it right now. You can squeeze a lot more out of that. You can squeeze hundreds of thousands more out of that, out of this simple deal, by simply including something in here. This word. Damn, spell something. Just because I can't spell, y'all think I don't know what I'm talking about? And you can even give them a sync licensing fee. So this is what you do. You split the money up. You go like this, 2,500. And then you can say sync licensing fee. Now, if you get that, you in the dump. Joe, small. So what you asked for here was a license to use, to reproduce their artwork or intellectual property in a limited format that will be prescribed on the contract. You're going to say cassettes, CDs, and vinyl. You ain't going to say nothing else. You want to go further, you're going to say MP3 devices, physical MP3 devices. And you know how they used to do us? They used to say to us, or anything else that's created in the universe. They used to really put that in my contract. That's how I'm saying, man, this should be cold. But anyway, let's get back to the learning. This is the best class ever. So look, you already know you up. This is a good deal to do because you know this deal potential is the low side sellout potential is 40,000. This is not going to be a projection. Never do a projection that's sellout. All of my company projections is at 50%, right? Like if I'm going to make a projection to show the homies, I'm not about to be talking about if we sell out, we make this. I normally try to say, okay, this is what we'll cash out. I mean, we'll recoup our cost at this price. Then they can look at all the other numbers and say, oh, yeah, okay. So look, if this is worth at a sellout 40 bands, we're going to do that calculation. If you sold all the units, you got a 50-50. So you got to divide this by 20. I mean, you got to divide this by 2. Oh, I did the wrong thing. I said time. Excuse me. So if it's a 50-50, 2 people own this, so you divide it by 2. So each of y'all getting 20,000. Now remember, you already paid him 5,000, but you got 2 different rights for that 5,000. You got the sync licensing rights, and you also got the rights to press up the vinyl. Now this is even better. This is the best shit. You really want to do this for people who don't know how to get their music in movies. If you ain't got no history of getting your shit in movies and shit, then you really, they're going to be like, show me what you got. And you ain't got nothing. You can still learn how to do it and submit for that. So let's keep this popping. How much you spent already was 5,000. So you're going to subtract 5,000. And you can make 15 racks off doing somebody 1,000 units of vinyl. And they can make 20 racks. 25 racks, because you gave them 5 up front, right? Remember? You gave them 5. So that's fair, that's honest. Now here go where you get your wig wounded. If you don't know, look at all the words on the screen and tell me where artists get their wig wounded. What clause, what phrase, what on here is detrimental that needs to be examined? Somebody say something in the chat, let me know we still popping. Of what you see on the screen, which is the sentence that needs to be scrutinized? Not the sentence, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which one needs to be scrutinized? Well, I can tell you both sides to this if you don't know. Thank you, Kidto. Thank you, Kidto. Thank you. That's how all rappers get ripped off. That's how all rappers get ripped off. I got ripped off by that hella times. This dude's getting ripped off by that today. Right? Look, 50-50 split after expenses. As a matter of fact, I'm putting this in red so everybody can know what to do when you see this. I agree to this. You got to agree to it, but you got to constrict it. You have to contract it. That's why this is a contract. Because it constricts things. It doesn't offer license. It actually restricts things. So, well, let me show you why. All contracts contract. They don't expand. So your rights are being restricted no matter what. If you sign in a contract. The thing is, which party are you in the contract? So I put NE. If it's non-exclusive, then you're going to pay a lot less over here. If it's exclusive, you're going to pay more over here. For sync licensing, you don't ever want exclusive. You always want to pay the less for this to get control of the rights and then make both of you guys hella money. And people just will love you. So let me show you. 50-50 split after expenses. right? So we about to focus on that. Now, let's say I got you to sign this deal. I'm gonna do this from both angles. Right now, I've been more of a CEO, but I'm still an artist. But yeah, so I'm gonna do it from the CEO angle. If I got you to sign this and you didn't have no conversation with me about split after expenses, you just messed up. You don't got no control. I could never pay you. I would not do that, but I learned this from what other people did to me. So Jive give you your bread after expenses. But then every interaction that you have with them is an expense. Dude, they get on the phone to talk to you, expense. And shady people could do that too, right here, right? They could say, okay, well, actually, here go all my rates for everything we've been doing. And here go your expenses. And your expenses, all they have to do to take all the money is make your expenses equal the amount you were owed. That's easy to do. So let me show you how they do it in the record industry, bro. And I'll never do this to a person, but they got another little part in here that's going to determine, okay, these certain items are charged back to the account. And they got full control over that if you don't pinpoint it and talk about it. So anything regarding the manufacturing of this 1,000 units is charged back to your account. Now I could go take you out to dinner at a 5-star restaurant, invite all your homies, some chicks, pay for it, get some bottles, and put that as a line item on your expenses as a meeting with you for pressing up your shit. Dude, that sounds so shady. That's what Jive Records did to me. That's what I went through. So I learned it from firsthand. I was like, why I ain't getting no more money? Well, have you seen your expenses? Dude, when I looked at the expenses, stuff they did internally was on my expenses. They used to have Jive Records on like the 7th floor and Zamba recording studios and publishing company on like the 5th, 6th floor. They would want to go listen to my album that I was recording. They would go from the 7th floor down to the 5th floor. They just went to a new company. Dude, they would charge me for studio time for them sitting there listening to my album in their studio. And I didn't have no control over how much they listened to it. So when somebody throw you a deal and it got little words like 50-50 split after expenses, you need to say, all right, first of all expenses get 50-50 approval. Like you can't just go pay for no shit. Not all expenses. The one expense to press up 1,000 units is approved. Everything else that we're gonna do to move these units, you might say, oh, you think you need $5,000 worth of Facebook ads. That's an expense. And that could keep you from getting your half the dough while that person's still getting their money. So in any deal I do, these expenses is capped and they telling you what they are, like limited to this, that, and it ain't gonna go over this amount. Now you can take that setup with the proper protocol. You could probably even pop this in ChatGPT and come out with the full. I know I got my ChatGPT running on God mode right now. It'll pop out the whole contract. But I don't trust that. I use what I already know. And sometimes I even be trying to help it. But let's just take this. And I'm about to deal with this chat GPT. To show y'all how you do this. So the deal you want, good to see you, Smash. See, we God mode over here. What up? What's good? Everything going good on my end? All right, let me show you how we're gonna do this chat GPT. I'm gonna say, yeah, we are. Excuse me. What we about to do? Create a mechanical license deal. But with these parameters. No. Oh, a mechanical, wait a minute. A mechanical licensing deal. I do want a mechanical license. I'm gonna say for the rights to reproduce vinyl cassettes and CDs using these parameters. All right, here we go. God mode kick in. Let's see what's happening. Licensing parameters, scope of license, non-exclusive mechanical. Nah, this is exclusive. This is exclusive. You don't want them to go sell the rights to make 1,000 more vinyl to somebody else. This is exclusive. So they're giving me all the parameters. Let me check. The scope of the license is exclusive mechanical license to reproduce and distribute the music on vinyl cassettes and CDs. Exclusivity. No other party can manufacture or distribute physical units under the license during the term. Quantity cap, 1,000 total units. Upfront licensing fee. Look, they got the sync fee. Look, if sync use is included, might be optional. This is only for physicals. See, they smart. ChatGPT is smart. It know I'm trying to get some other rights. I want these other rights. Because this is how you're going to make all the paper. Like over the 40,000, then y'all going to split that 50-50 too. But we'll talk about that anyway. You split up the money, give them on $2,500 for the mechanical licensing to do the vinyl and $2,500 for the sync rights. They're going to get 5 bands right on the spot as soon as they sign. Financial terms, we going to sell it at $40 per unit. The wholesale will be $20 per unit. We ain't going to do much wholesale, and I'm even going to think 25. The revenue split is based on the retail price, and after expenses, we saying manufacturing, shipping, promo, distribution. We'll cap these expenses. I'm going to say I need you to cap, I need you to cap them expenses. You to cap expenses. And how much for this deal? Should I cap it at 5,000? Yeah, because it works with the numbers we had. Cap expenses at 5,000. Let me see. Bar manufacturing. So what that's gonna do is it's gonna make it cap them expenses. It ain't gonna run forever, but it's gonna exclude the manufacturing. So if you want to cap the expenses at 5,000, no, not 4-bar man. I said 4-bar manufacturing. I need to put that over. I said that wrong. Excluding. I'm still rocking, man. Lawyers still the same way. What they do? Yep. Got it. Thanks for the clarification. If you want a 5,000 cap to, yeah, lawyers will take a retainer from you and then charge you for every single. If they get a piece of paper out of the fax machine, some of that eats up some of your retainer. And so you gotta. What you do with lawyers is you make sure that certain jobs is all paralegal. Like, I don't want you to review nothing. Make sure paralegals do all this reviewing, and then you spend 1 hour talking to your paralegal. But anyway, if you want a $5,000 cap to apply to expenses, including manufacturing, this is how the structured deal should read. So it's telling me license excluding, 1,000 units, no other physical grants. They're going to fees, MSR fee. Now look, everything's looking good. The revenue split is right. Other expenses, marketing, shipping, promotion, budgeting, capped at 5,000 total. So that means they cannot. What can't they do? They can't come to you talking about, look, man, I just spent $5,500 on the billboard. I can't give you the rest of your money because the expenses was capped at 5,000. The revenue split is 50-50 after expenses subjected to the caps above. Now they got example scenarios on you. So if you wholesaled all the units, it'll only make 20,000. Manufacturing cost, no, it don't cost 7,000. I'm gonna say MANUFACTUR. I honestly got a better number that is 4,500 for me, bro. Manufacturing is 4,500. Now let's see. They got expenses at 4,500, manufacturing plus 5,000 capped. So the most expenses could be 9,500. So still the net would be 10,000, where y'all both could make 5,000 each. So basically the artist made the initial 5,000 you gave him. Now he can make 5,000 on the back end of letting you press up 1,000 vinyl. You're gonna make, see, you getting all your money back. So you're gonna get this 9,500 back plus your split of 5,000 because you pay for all the expenses. So you're not earning more, you're getting your money back plus your profit. But if you did retail, which we like to do, the expenses are still 4,500 to manufacture the vinyl, 5,000 cap on promotion, 9,500, but y'all netted 30,000. Y'all about to split 15,000. Y'all get 15,000 each, but on top of your 15,000, you get your 9,500 for expenses. So this is why you don't gotta be the rapper or the person. You just gotta know the business. Now, if you just a middleman and you don't own these masters, don't think stupid like that. The rappers still own their stuff. You just got a license. A license is permission. So you just got permission to exploit it to whatever extent they allowed you to exploit it. In this deal, we chose 1,000 units. So now, if you wanted to expand that, you're gonna say 1,000 units in each format, and you can still do it for the same licensing fee. That's how you get more money up out of a deal. So you say 1,000 units, not total, you say 1,000 units per format. Now you got 1,000 vinyl, 1,000 CDs, and 1,000 cassettes. See what I mean? Still for the same initial 5,000. If the artist is savvy, he gonna say, no, for each right, I want 5,000. For the cassettes, I want 5,000. For the CDs, I want 5,000. But most artists don't be that savvy in negotiation. I be that way. That's why cats be like, damn, Smash is crazy. But anyway, So, all right, I'm gonna have them turn this into a contract. Draft. Two-page contract. Governed by California law. Draft this into a two-page contract governed by California law. Here go your agreement. So now you're gonna go. This is simple, and you want it to be simple so you can pull it off in the car while you're sitting with somebody. If you think you need a lawyer, go get a lawyer. You might need a lawyer. Copy. But a lawyer just, for complicated shit, you need a lawyer, bro. If you can understand it, why you need a lawyer? I'm just keeping it real. If you understand it, why do you need a lawyer? I got a lawyer for the stuff I don't understand. So now I just copy the contract into here, and I'm gonna take this part out. As soon as a mechanical licensing agreement is entered as to an effective date between the licensor, so you wouldn't know who's the licensor and the licensee. The licensee is granting the permission. The licensor is asking for permission. Licensor and licensee may hereafter be referred to collectively as the parties or the individual parties. Now, if you don't got no lawyer, there you go right there. Grant of rights. Don't use ChatGPT for a lawyer, but these are simple, basic contracts. Licensor hereby grants the licensee an exclusive mechanical license to manufacture, reproduce, distribute, and sell physical copies. Physical needs to be in bold. Sell physical copies of the musical work identified as blah. Formats, vinyl cassettes, and compact discs collectively licensed products. Exclusivity. The license is exclusive for the manufacturing and distributing of licensed products during the term. It says the term and territory worldwide unless otherwise written. The term is until unit is exhausted. Until, I gotta add that. So the units are sold, nigga. So the units are sold. All right, cool. Term, this agreement shall remain in effect until A. All right, they said that already, see? They said exactly what I said right here. Look. This agreement shall remain in effect the same, A, the sale of 1,000 licensed units, or B, 2 years from the effective date. No, I'm going to change that to 5. Because you don't want to have to sell all them units in 2 years. 5 years from the effective dates, whichever comes first, unless extended by mutual written agreement. Upfront fees. Licensors shall pay the licensor the following non-refundable fee upon execution of this agreement. $2,500 for the mechanical license. Now, see, I asked y'all a question earlier, and everybody said the right answer, but I'm sorry. That's correct. But when you really gonna get your wig, well, you're not gonna get your wig wounded. This is the only place that you can incur some type of damage if you don't answer to this correctly. This right here is all bonus. That's all bonus. So the sync licensing fee, let's see if the contract is written correctly. You gotta make sure in the contract they request the rights to exploit your music for sync licensing. So we got the sync licensing fee if applicable. Manufacturing expense cap. Manufacturing costs are fixed at $4,500 and shall be, I got the output 5,000, right? Because I know it costs that much for me, but everybody can't get vinyl. 5,000 should be gross revenue. Other expenses, all other reasonable expenses related to marketing, shipping, and promotion, storage, and distribution are deductible up to the maximum of $5,000. Any amounts exceeding this cap shall be borne solely by the licensee and shall not be reducing net profits. Licensee must provide invoice receipts for all expenses claimed. It says revenue and royalties. Now here we go. The suggested price is $40 per unit. Wholesale is $20 per unit. Gross revenue is defined as monies received from the sale of the licensed product. The net revenue is the gross revenue minus deductible expenses as defined herein. The split is the net revenue shall be divided 50-50 based on the licensor, between the licensor and the licensee. Man, they did a good contract. This is better than some contracts some people sent me back in the day. Licensee shall provide detail. I'm going to take this to Oakland and go get busy. I'm going to send this to one of my homies and give him a job and see if they want to, I'm definitely going to cash app him as soon as he got the, I don't know. I got to figure it out. Because if I need them to deliver some master files, I can't pay them until I get the master files. So this is where it says license shall credit licensor as the rights holder on all packaging, linear notes, and promotional materials in the form of substantially licensed by, and you put your name right there. It doesn't say you own it, it says you the licensee. Termination. Now, if they don't like how it's going, you can terminate it, but then I'm going to have to tell them, if they want to terminate it, they got to buy the units. Licensor may terminate this agreement upon a written notice to the licensee. See, the licensor may terminate it, but the licensee can't terminate it. If he wants the right to terminate it, then he's going to have to pay back all the bread, manufacturing bread. This governing law is California, like I said. This agreement constitutes the entire understanding between the parties and supersedes all prior negotiations. Any amendments must be in writing, signed by both parties. Yo, this is sufficient. This should fit the 2-pack. Now you take this part out. Now you tell ChatGPT to give you the PDF version. So you think you can't take that and go get into the streets? Am I still streaming? Let me know if I'm still streaming. I don't see nobody active in the chat. So what is this missing? I need to go back to ChatGPT. I thought you was in God mode. I'm saying you left out. Because I be knowing more than ChatGPT sometimes. Nah. All verbiage about. That's fine. Think licensing. Thank you. You left out all verbiage about sync licensing. That's because I didn't help it. About sync. Come on, man. Spell that right. C-E-N-S. Sync licensing and how will be handled. I'm going to see. I want the right to submit their music for sync licensing. We will split licensing fees. I ain't doing 50-50 for that. They should get the majority of that. We'll split licensing fees. 40% me, 60%. I mean, I'm tripping. Yeah, 60% artists. Because this is passive income, and you get these from a one-time submission. Anybody trying to take 50% from that one-time submission, I said 40 just trying to be humble. But let me see. We will split the licensing fees 50. All right, let me see. It's going to add the verbiage. And we could talk about this. This is how you make the other money. You turn this from 40,000 to over 100,000. From my experience. So my last, my last sync license was for a song that I produced in the 90s. And it was for Dick's Sporting Goods. It was last year. Was that last year? It might have been 2023. It was for Dick's Sporting Goods. And it's for 50 grand. One song, Dick's Sporting Goods want to use our song because it fit with the campaign that they was about to do. And somebody hit me like, yo, I got a license for you. Dick's want to use your song. It wasn't even my song, but I produced it. And that license was for 50 grand. Now, since I produced it and didn't perform on it, I got half of that 50 grand. So I got 20 bands for, I got like 25 bands. Maybe it was 40 bands because I said 20 bands naturally. So maybe it's for 40,000. And I got 20 bands for a song I made in the 1990s because it got used in what we call sync licensing. So let's talk about it real quick. I just told them to add the parameters for the sync licensing. I'm simply gonna go take those parameters, here we go, and pop them in there. I ain't gotta copy everything. You see how deep they had to go into this sync section? So let me go back to the document and I'm gonna pop it. Look, what number was it? Number 7. Well, I gotta make a new number for it, I guess. And I'll change all the numbers after that. Sync licensing and submission rights. Yeah, this is what I want. Now, it's non-exclusive. See, they was on point. It must be listening to me. Or it's really smart. Never grant a person exclusive rights to sync licensing. It don't make sense. Why you gonna be the only one submitting my music to get in movies? I need hella people doing that. So that's non-exclusive. And you see they did that from the gate. Let me make it bigger on the screen. Man, it's time to turn on the AC. God damn, what they doing out here? I'm gonna have to play some music for y'all real quick. Hold on, let me go turn on some music. Degrees. Shit. Cool, I'm glad y'all still here. So the sync licensing is how you turn the $40 deal. The $40,000 deal, it could go over into the hundreds of thousands. With one sync license and you just got 12 songs. Or however many on their album. So think about all the classic Bay Area songs and albums that have never been submitted for sync licensing. Damn, I'm giving you a game, dog. Think about it. Not only submitted for sync licensing, think of all the popular Bay Area songs. I'm just going Bay Area, that's where I'm from. Not only sync licensing, think of all the Bay Area songs that don't got no vinyl. That DJs would love to spin off the vinyl. So it's a whole economy that could be opened up right there. It's so hot in here, I'm trying to let it cool off before I get back to cooking. God damn. It's like shit. Sync license submission rights. All right, so we grant the non-exclusive licensor grants the licensee a non-exclusive right to solicit, pitch, and submit the masters for synchronization using audiovisual media to sync submission rights. That's what you want. During the term and territory. So now if you got it limited to 1,000 units, you probably want to expand the term to where you can solicit for sync rights. You don't want to just have that right up until when the 1,000 units is sold. This is an administrative pitch rights only and does not itself authorize a sync use without approvals or license execution. So approvals and clearances to use your masters. So what does this mean? I'm going to go holler at the homie who put shit in movies. Man, they already told me I could get the 10% licensing fee, and I didn't even do it. I didn't feel like being that person. But now, you know what I be doing? I be keeping jobs that I already got, and I just don't start the job. Like, I could start that in 2028. But what my partner who do the movies, and I'm saying my partner so it sounds like somebody from the hood, no. It's not nobody I know personally. We just got sync licenses together. He told me any artist that I bring today, this before they got bought by a bigger company, but he told me, he still worked there. He told me any artist I bring to them, I get a 10% from not the artist side, from their side. I just like, okay, cool. I'm gonna hop on that. But I would do it like in this regard. So it's like composition, publishing, all composition, sync right must be separately cleared with the referencing publisher. So licensee will coordinate and has no authority to bind publishing without written authority from the rights holder. So let's say if you don't own all the rights, you gotta make sure that everybody who got publishing on that gives the approval for the sync license. Final approvals. Any sync deal terms, media, territory, fee edits are subjected to the licensor's reasonable approval. Not the licensee, the licensor. Not to be reasonably withheld or delayed. So if I got a sync license, I'm the one who's gonna get to say if we're gonna do it or not. But ain't nobody gonna hold up your sync licenses. And ain't nobody really gonna try to build a bad relationship with you by licensing your music to like a stupid company, unless they got some evil means or whatever. So this is where all the extra bread comes. Because besides the money from simply selling the units, besides all of that, the physical units, you have the rights to submit the music for sync license. How you do that? There's a couple of companies, all you gotta do is start using ChatGPT and stuff. Some of those companies don't really work, and you need to really, he said, let him get a copy of that. You feel me? I'll put this right in the chat. Come on now, I'll click share right here. Stop playing, but this ain't finished. You have to refine it. You got to read it and make sure it fit what you really want to do. Because this is kind of tailored to what I know I can execute. If you still want to get the sync licensing, but how could someone execute that if they don't got lines on sync licensing to get your stuff in movies and stuff? So you want to start probing those routes too. That's part of the job, is research, man, and developing relationships. All them people on Instagram. I'm gonna go right to an Instagram to a person, and I never did this before, and I'm about to do it right now. This might be too much game, so let me do it off the screen. And if he start getting flooded with emails like, I want to get in movies, casual shipping, at least mention, well, you might be a nuisance. But he got social media for a reason, and everybody want to be popular. Let me see if I can find them. All right, let me see if I can find their company's Instagram. I think I found their company's Instagram. Let me see. I don't know. This ain't them. Let me see if I can add another name. I'm gonna share it. I told you my shows be valuable, so kick in the Cash App so I won't feel bad later. Like, man, cats be straight doing me crazy. Thank you. Modern Works. See, now I gotta find the right one though. All right, here we go. This is it. This is who y'all need to be following. All that fake stuff. Follow them and start talking to them, bruh. anything they post, let them start getting familiar. Look, I don't even follow them because I got the end route. I follow them now, though. But look, like they got one comment on this post. It's easy enough to get some attention from this company being an artist and being like, now look at their Grammy nominations. They hooked up with Red Brick. This is what I was talking about. So they solid. But look at their Grammy nominations. Baby King featuring Kendrick Lamar, The Hillbillies. Travis Scott, Utopia. Michael Cleveland, Love of the Game. Molly Tuttle, Golden Highway, City of Gold. Fred Hirsch and Esperanza Spalding, Alive in the Village, Vanguard. Well, this is one of them good companies. Don't got hella followers. So look, if they are promoting the movie, what they telling you is they the ones who put the music in it. Because they don't got no reason for, they ain't got no reason for, they don't do this, you feel me? So it says, congrats to all our Modern Works music writers and artists on their placements in the final season of Lucifer. Cats don't even be following these Instagrams. How do you become an artist? Well, first I'm showing you how to develop a relationship. Relationships mean everything. Don't think you can't develop a cyber relationship. You don't want your first thing to be in their comments like, how I'll get in the movies. See, when people leave comments, whoever controls the page starts getting the tendency of, whoever starts controlling the page gets a tendency of looking to see who it is commenting on their stuff. Look, they did this. This is how people get their music and stuff. Look, so stoked to have so many musical moments from Modern Works artists in this season. Man, I'm trying to tell you. So they like, it's not like on big songs only. You know, half the songs you hear in movies, you be like, how the hell they get that weak ass song in that movie? Or that song in that movie. There's a couple companies like this. I know this company to be very reliable. And if you ever find out who the talent buyer are, I don't think they call them talent buyers there. But if you ever find out who the man is there, tell him Cass said what's up. You feel me? All right, that's about 2-3 hours. Damn. Yeah, this still needs some work, but you could take this, man. I'm about to shoot this to some rappers. Some people who got some classic albums that don't got no vinyl, like me. Like dude did me from Poland. But all right, I got some phone calls to make. Thanks for watching the show, man. And thanks for all the cash apps, all the contributions. I really appreciate it. Matter of fact, let me say some thank yous. At least 2 thank yous. Oh, that's my daughter asking for some paper. No, that's a thank you. Thank you, kiddo, for the contribution to the show. Thank you, Julian, for yesterday's contribution. All right, we up out of here. See, you're going to make me play.